What's up, everybody? So today I want to go over extended ab mat crunches. Now, extended ab mat crunches are a very unique exercise because a lot of times when we do our ab exercises, right? Like, for example, when I'm in the extended position, my muscles really have no tension. I'm only working the muscles when I crunch up to engage, and then I come back down. The tension is kind of supported by my body on the bench, right? Now, we have a whole other side of the abs we want to work into where you want to be able to keep tension when you're extended as well as when you're contracted. But very few people ever know how to do the first versus the second. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take our ab mat. You can get one of these on Amazon for like 15 bucks, probably closer to 20 now, right? But if you want to get a firm one, this is a great one. And what it does, it lets you exaggerate the arch of your back when you're going back so you can go deeper into the motion, right? So I like going from the benches just because I get a deeper stretch. I'm gonna keep my toes turned in. I'm gonna put it right underneath the small of my back. So when I sit down, I'm gonna put my butt right where the mat meets the bench, right? And then as I go back, I'm able to get a deeper level of stretch. I get all this extra extension where even though I'm extended all the way out, now my abs have to support what's going on. So I get to stretch in the bottom and I get to squeeze in the top. Whether I'm doing just a basic crunch, right? Insertion point and insertion point, I stretch them out and then I squeeze back to the top. I stretch them out and then I squeeze back to the top, right? Which is a phenomenal exercise, right? You can do them with your feet up if you want to, right? I got a bad hip flexor, so I always feel tension in my lower back when I go like this, so I prefer keeping my feet down. But it's a great exercise, so now I'm able to get used to pulling in tight with my abs, open everything up, and basically fight that like forward bending position we're always stuck in. Now, another thing I like doing for the extended ab mat crunch, the extended crunch comes off the bench because you're going deeper. If I was on the floor, I wouldn't be able to get as deep as I could with the bench. Hopefully you guys are able to see that. In the beginning, that's gonna suck. You're gonna be so sore from that exercise because of the stretch, not because of how hard it is. Most people never get their abs to go into that long of a range of motion, and that's what's gonna make you sore the first couple times. But you do that a couple times, then it's gonna get it easy. Jay, what do I do from there? So glad you asked, right? Now, your best bet probably be doing this with a 10 or a 15 or a 25 pound plate or whatever you have at your gym, right? We have these clubs from David Weck of the Weck Method. We also have the short hammers from Bamf Hammer. We love the guys at Bamf Hammer. And what they are is they're weighted clubs that just give us better leverage than we would get from a plate. But you can totally do this with a plate or a kettlebell or a dumbbell also, right? What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back to my extended crunch. I'm gonna start with the weighted object just above my sternum, right? So this way, I have to keep myself crunched up to support everything, but it's not pulling me forward, right? I'm not supporting it with my back. I'm supporting it with my abs. Now, as I go back, you wanna make sure you don't fall, so try to hook your feet onto something, right? I keep my feet turned in so I can hook into the floor. I get the stretch in the bottom, you see that? And then I crunch back up and I squeeze to the top. I crunch down, I get the stretch, and then I squeeze to the top, right? Now, I like to go for the full extension. I like to look back with my eyes. Some of you guys might have vertigo. Some of you guys might have neck pain. You might have to keep your eyes up to the ceiling, which is totally cool, right? But I get to stretch to the bottom. I open myself up. I feel the rib cage. I feel the lat stretching out, my abs, all this inside of here. And then I crunch to the top. Look at my feet. I keep my feet turned inward so this way I can hook into the floor and I don't feel like I'm gonna fall. If I keep my feet turned out, you're gonna wanna squeeze with your inner thighs. You get a lot of hip flexion and a lot of lower back. That's where a lot of people mess up, is that they try to include their inner thighs when they're doing their ab exercises. And if your hip flexors are already tight, it's adding insult to injury. And all I'm doing, right? Stretch at the bottom, squeeze in the top. Stretch in the bottom, squeeze in the top. And it's a phenomenal exercise for not only getting your abs stronger, but also to give you that thinning effect, because now that you're in the bottom and everything's all stretched out, you're getting stronger, pulling everything in. You'll notice you're not gonna have like the distended belly that we have after sitting down all day long. You notice your posture's gonna be a little better. You'll stand a little slimmer, everything will be pulled in, and you're gonna feel better overall because you're opening up everything as opposed to going like this. Those are extended ab mat crunches. Like I said, we like using them with a weighted club or a short hammer from Bamf Hammer. You can totally do them with a kettlebell, you can do them with a plate, you can do them with a medicine ball. Your only limitation is your own creativity, right? But like I said, give that exercise a try, see how you like it. I like doing mine from the bench because I can get deeper, where if I was on the floor, just show you real quick, right? If I was on the floor doing this, I still get a good stretch, but you see I don't get as deep as I normally get, right? And I wouldn't be able to go deep with the club. So I always recommend going off of the bench versus the floor, all right? Only thing you gotta watch out for is if any of you guys have like vertigo or high blood pressure or any neck problems, check with your doctor first, but otherwise a phenomenal exercise, definitely one of my go-tos. I would definitely put in your routine, try it out. Hope you guys like that. See you in the next one. What's going on, everybody? So in today's video, we're gonna talk to you about a side-loaded hip squinge. Jake, what the hell is a squinge? A squinge is kind of a hybrid between a hinge, like a deadlift, and a squat, all right? Where squinging is really the more natural pattern you should be going through when you're doing all your leg exercises, right? What happened is over the years, especially in the earlier days of bodybuilding, we were limited to like certain machines, like certain types of leg presses or certain type of squatting exercise with a straight bar, certain types of deadlifts with a straight bar, and it kind of restricted the natural motion we want to put our body through. So we came up with these differences in a squat and a deadlift, which is also called a hinge, where a squinge is kind of like a half squat, half deadlift, where you're driving your hips back, you're bending your knees, and it's the best of both worlds without a lot of the risks, right? Now, where does the rubber band come involved? A lot of you guys out there have the same problem I do, where you'll notice yourself using one leg more than the other, right? So like when I deadlift and squat, I get like 65% of my weight in my right leg, and the other 35%, I think my math is right, from the left leg. So what happens as time goes on, I started getting back injuries and knee injuries and foot injuries and neck injuries because I was so one side dominant, where you have to relearn how to train that hip again. So what I do is this. As I'm going through my squinge, right? Basically I'm here, keeping my shoulder blades tight, going down up for my hinging exercises, right? My squinging exercises. What's happening is by me having this rubber band, right, on my hip, this is my bad leg, this is the leg I'm trying to work, the band's on the good side. What happens is the band wants to pull me this way, right? What's gonna stop me from going that way? My bad leg. So now when I go, I normally wanna collapse in with my leg and I'm doing my lifts like this. I'm exaggerating so you can see what's going on. I wanna keep this leg braced outward so I can learn how to stabilize it and use my hip again. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna back away. I don't need to fight the band a huge amount. I don't want it to pull me into the wall. I just want a little bit of resistance where if I let go, it would pull me. Now, in order to balance more, I'm gonna show you with my knee, right? You see how everything's kind of like, I'm on the outside rail of my foot, inside of my foot's very light, my knee's going out, I'm bracing through this hip, and all I'm doing, keep my shoulder blades tight, and now it's forcing me to have to engage and drive through this left hip muscle more, right? Now, what I'm doing with my arms is I'm keeping my shoulder blades tight and my lats tight, so this way it helps stabilize my spine. So when I come down, there's no motion from my spine. Nick, get the side. So when I go down, there's no motion from my spine. All the motion comes from me hinging at the hip and a slight little bend in the knees. Watch, right? You see how all the motion comes from there, right? Down and I'm up. Keeping that neck nice and straight. I'm not squatting down, I'm pushing my hips out behind me and I'm coming back up. Down and up, right? Squeezing super tight. Now, what I like to do, I stagger my stance, right? So what I'll do, I'll come down and come up. So now I'm forcing a lot more of that work to come from just my left leg. This is like a single leg, a cross body, single leg RDL. You've seen one of the other videos, we did this with a dumbbell. But now, by coming down across, I gotta stabilize through my spine across my body. And the only thing I really have working right now is this hip, which is being forced to activate because I have the weight pulling me the opposite way. That is one of the best. Listen, I've been doing this for 20 years, right? I've had a bad leg for as long as I can remember. It's just the shit I deal with, right? That is one of the best exercises I found to really force your body to shift your weight to one side and train your leg. Because what you'll notice is if you do like a split squat lunge, right? Jay, you can do the same thing like this. No, you can't, because just naturally you're gonna notice you're always gonna, even though I'm standing on my bad leg, I'm still gonna shift a lot of the work to this good leg without even realizing it. This is one of the only exercises that's truly gonna let that hip joint and that hip muscle activate so you start working it again, and you'll know you're doing it right because you'll do like 5 or 6 reps and you're gonna be like, holy shit, my hip and my ass are on fire. Why is this so hard? It's because you're activating the muscles you haven't used in a long time, and you're activating the muscles that you don't remember how to activate when you're doing your other lifts. So what I would do, get like a light rubber band, right? That was actually pretty good for me. You always wanna check your rubber bands, make sure they're not gonna snap on you, right? That would suck. You do like 2 sets of like 5 to 20 reps. Don't force 20. If all you can get is 5 and you're getting a good burn, that's great. But now you're gonna have those muscles activated, so when you go to do your squat, your deadlift, your lunges, any of that stuff, even your leg presses, you're gonna notice you're using that leg a lot more. You'll feel your weight shift back over, and you'll start bringing yourself back to balance again. That is 20 years of experience right there in one exercise. Literally the simplest thing you do, but don't mistake its simplicity for its effectiveness. This is fucking phenomenal. It's one of the best things I ever came up with. I'm just pissed it took me 20 years to figure it out. So hopefully you guys hope that helped you guys out. If you like this video and you have more questions, like always, shoot me a DM, a text message, an email, leave a comment in the section below. And I don't know what platform you guys are seeing this on, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, but whichever ones you aren't following us, we're gonna show you them all right here. Whichever ones you're not following us all, do me a favor, follow us all across social media so we can keep putting out content like this for you guys every week for free versus charging you like some other companies do, right? Guys, hope that helped you out. That is the Side Banded Squinge. See you in the next one.